Hi students, in the previous video we studied about the complex number system. Now we are going to discuss when the two complex numbers are equal and arithmetic operations of complex numbers. Now let us move to the equality of complex numbers. Two complex numbers z1 and z2 are equal if and only if the corresponding real and imaginary parts are equal. It means x1 is equal to x2 and y1 is equal to y2. Means x1 and x2 are the corresponding real parts of z1 and z2, and y1 and y2 are the corresponding imaginary parts of z1 and z2. Now let us move to the arithmetic operations. Complex numbers can be added, subtracted, multiplied and divided also. Now let us move to the how we can add the two complex number. Addition of two complex numbers z1 z2 is nothing but adding the corresponding real part of z1 z2 and adding the corresponding imaginary part of z1 z2. It means x1 plus x2 plus I times of y1 plus y2. So for example, z1 is equal to 2 plus 3i and z2 is equal to 2 plus 4i. Then z1 plus z2 is equal to adding the real part of z1 and z2, that is 4 here, plus I times of adding that real imaginary part of z1 and z2, that is 3 and 4, 3 plus 4, that is 7 into I. So addition of two complex numbers, 2 plus 3i and 2 plus 4i is the 4 plus 7i. Now let us move to the multiplication of two complex numbers z1 and z2. z1 can be written as x1 plus I y1 and z2 can be written as x2 plus I y2. Multiplying each term of the brackets here, x1 into x2 plus I into y1 into x2, then I y1 into x2, then I y1 into I y2. I into I square is equal to minus 1, so y1 into y2. Let us separate the real parts and imaginary part. x1 x2 I square is equal to minus 1, that is minus y1 into y2, plus I is common here, I into y1 x2 plus x1 y2. Again it is belongs to the complex number. So this can be written as an ordered pair. x1 x2 minus y1 y2 is a real part of product of two complex number, and y1 x2 plus x1 x2 is the imaginary part of product of complex numbers z1 and z2. Similarly, complex number can be subtracted also. Let us take z1 and z2. z1 minus z2 is equal to just subtracting the real part of z1 and z2 and subtracting the imaginary part of z1 and z2. So that can be written as x1 minus x2 plus I is common, y1 minus y2. So that can be written as in ordered pair x1 minus x2 comma y1 minus y2. Let us take a note. Inverse of z can be written as 1 by z. So where z is equal to, I have taken x plus iy. So generally you don't keep the complex in the denominator. You can rationalize this here. So multiply and divide by conjugate of x plus iy, that is x minus iy written, and divide can be written as x by x square plus y square minus I times of y by x square plus y square. So that can be written as in ordered pair. This is real part, this is the imaginary part of 1 by z. Two complex number can be divided. Consider z1 is equal to x1 plus iy1 and z2 is equal to x2 plus iy2. z1 by z2 can be written as x1 plus iy1, x2 plus iy2, multiply and divide by conjugate of denominator. So that can be written as x1 plus iy1 and x2 minus iy2 divided by x1 plus iy1 into x2 minus iy2. x1 minus x2 minus iy2 is the conjugate of x2 plus iy2. But here either x2 is not equal to 0 or y2 is not equal to 0. Now this implies z1 by z2 is nothing but x1 into x2 plus y1 into y2 divided by x2 square plus y2 square plus I times of x2 y1 minus x1 y1 x1 y2 divided by x2 square plus y2 square. But provided x2 square plus y2 square is not equal to 0. So let us move to the properties of complex numbers. We can define the commutative property with respect to addition, with respect to multiplication. Now let us define the commutative law of addition. So that is z1 plus z2 can be written as z2 plus z1. Similarly, commutative property with respect to multiplication can be written as z1 into z2 is same as z2 into z1. Let us move to the associative law with respect to addition and multiplication. So they can be defined z1 plus z2 plus z3 is equal to z1 plus z2 plus z3. So this is the commutative property is true with respect to addition. Similarly, with respect to multiplication also true. z1 of z2 into z3 is equal to z1 into z2 of z3. Now let us move to the distributive law. So this is the property holds with respect to addition as well as multiplication. z1 of z2 plus z3 is equal to z1 into z2 plus z1 into z3. So this is a left distributive law. Similarly, one can define a right distributive law also. So that can be written as z2 plus z3 into z1 is equal to z2 into z1 plus z3 into z1. Additive identity. Let z is equal to x plus iy be any complex number. So 0 can be written in the complex form 0 plus i0. Then we have z plus 0 is equal to z only. Z have taken x plus iy plus 0 plus i0. So that can be just adding the real part of z and 0, that is 0 the x plus 0, and adding the imaginary part of z and 0, that is y plus 0. So this can be written as x plus iy, that is equal to z. Therefore, so 0 is the additive identity. Now let us move to the multiplication identity or unity, or call it as 1. For any complex number z is equal to x plus iy, and 1 can be written in the form of complex, that is 1 plus i0. Then we have z into 1, that is equal to x plus iy into 1 plus i0. So that can be written as x plus iy plus 0 plus 0. So that is equal to x plus iy, that is equal to z. Therefore, 1 is equal to 1 plus i0 is the multiplicative identity. Let us define the inverses, additive inverse and as well as the multiplicative inverse. The additive inverse of z is its negative, that is minus z. For any complex number z, we have z plus minus z is equal to 0. So therefore, minus z is the additive inverse of plus z. Similarly, every non-zero complex number z has a unique multiplicative inverse, that is z to the power of minus 1 is equal to 1 by z. Set that z by z is equal to z into z inverse is equal to 1. Therefore, so 1 by z is the multiplicative inverse of z. Thus, the set of complex number C form a field with respect to addition and multiplication of complex numbers which we defined above. Now let us move to the theorem. The field C of a complex number is not totally ordered set. Before moving to this theorem, we know that real system R is an ordered set because any two real numbers are comparable. We can compare any two real numbers. It is possible. For example, 1 less than 2 or 2 is greater than 1. Okay, but let us see whether complex number system is ordered set or not. Otherwise, two complex numbers are comparable or not. Let us see in this theorem. The theorem statement is the field C of complex number is not totally ordered set. Suppose let us take assumption. We assume that C is a ordered set. Since you know that I is equal to square root of minus 1, that belongs to complex number, and I is not equal to 0, we assume that C is an ordered set. Either I is less than 0 or I is greater than 0. So this implies I square is positive. Because R is an ordered set, you know that. So 1 is greater than 0 or minus 1 is less than 0. If you take square, always becomes positive. Therefore I square is also positive because I assume that C is an ordered set. If I square is positive, I value I square is equal to minus 1. Minus 1 is positive. So which is contradiction. Our assumption is wrong. What we assumed C is an ordered set is wrong. Therefore, ordering is not possible in the complex system. Hence we can write C is not an ordered set. It means we cannot compare the any two complex numbers in the complex system. Let us remark it. The real system R is a field because so every non-zero element has a unique inverse. Therefore, R is a field. Even the complex system C is also a field which we studied previously. Let us move to second point. The real system R is an ordered set. We can compare the two real numbers. It means that inequality will hold in the real system. But you cannot compare two complex numbers. It means that inequality will not hold. So that is Z1 less than Z2 or Z2 greater than or equal to Z1 is not possible. Therefore, C is not an ordered set. Let us move to the problem. Find the value of 1 plus 2i whole cube. Now 1 plus 2i whole cube can be written as using a plus b whole cube formula. 1 cube plus b is 2i here. 2i whole cube plus 3 into a square b form. 3 into a is 1 and b is 2i plus 3 into ab square, a into b square, 3 into 1 into 2i whole square. 1 cube 1, 2, I cube is minus I, that is minus 2i, and 3 into 2, 6i, and 4, 2 square 4, 4 into 3, 12, I square is minus 1, minus 12. So 1 minus 12 minus 11, minus 2i plus 6i, 4i. Find the real and imaginary parts of the complex number z minus 1 by z plus 1 where z is equal to x plus iy. Now let us take the number z minus 1 by z plus 1 that can be written as x plus iy minus 1 by x plus iy plus 1. Now let us rationalize this by multiplying divided by x plus 1 minus iy. So that can be written as here. After multiplying we have x minus 1 into x plus 1 plus I into y into x plus 1 minus I into x minus 1 into y plus y square. In the denominator, let us multiply conjugate of x plus iy plus 1. In the denominator we have x plus 1 whole square plus y square. Now let us separate the real and imaginary part. X minus 1 into x plus 1 plus y square by denominator plus I is common, y into x plus 1 minus x minus 1 into y by denominator. So this is the real part and this is the imaginary part of this complex number. Now let us move to the third problem. Find the value of 1 plus I whole power n plus 1 minus I whole power n. Let us take this number as p. P is equal to 1 plus I whole power n plus 1 minus I whole power n. Here I power n, take it outside. If I take I power n, take it outside. I power n into, this is 1 I written, 1 by I. 1 by I is equal to minus I, that is minus I whole power n. As it is second term I written here. 1 minus I whole power n is common, that I written here. I power n plus 1 I written. So this is P. Now, so where n is a positive number, I power n has only 4 possible values, that is 1, I, minus 1 and minus I. Let us, when n is equal to 1, I power 1 is I, you can see that. When n is 2, I square is equal to minus 1, you know that. When n is 3, I cube is equal to minus I. When n is 4, I to the power of 4 is equal to 1. There are only 4 values. Let us repeat that n I have taken consider as a positive integer. When n is equal to 5, I power 5. I power 5 can be written as I power 4 into I. I power 4 is 1 into I, again that is I. Again come to the I and I power 5 is same. I power 6 is equal to minus 1. I power 6 can be written as I power 4 into I power 2. I power 4 is 1, I square is minus 1. That is, therefore I power 6 is equal to minus 1. I power 7 again, that is minus I. I power 7 can be written as I power 4 into I cube. I power 4 is 1, I cube is equal to minus I. Therefore I power 7 is equal to minus I. I power 8 is equal to again 1. I power 8 can be written as I power 4 into I power 4. So that can be written as 1. Okay, therefore n can be written as 4t plus k. So by using division algorithm, n is equal to 4t plus k, t belongs to z and k is equal to 0, 1, 2 and 3. These are the remainders. Let us take for first case, k is equal to 0. When n becomes 40, let us calculate p. P is equal to this. P is equal to 1 minus I whole power 40 into I power 40 plus 1. 1 minus I whole power 40 into I power 40 can be written as I power 4 whole power t. The plus 1 as it is written. So 1 minus I whole power 40 as it is written. I power 4 is 1. Then 1 power t plus 1. 1 power t, again it is 1, 1 plus 1, 2. Same as it is written, first term. Now 2 into 1 minus I whole power whole square whole power 2. 40 can be written as 4 can be written as 2 square. That is 1 minus I whole square whole power 2 taken it. 1 minus I whole square can be written as, by using a minus b whole square formula, 1 minus 1 minus 2i. 1 minus 1 get cancelled. So remaining is 2 into minus 2 pi whole power t. So again minus 2i whole power t, 2t is nothing but 2 into minus 2i whole square whole power t I can write. So this is nothing but 2 into 4 power t minus 1 power t. So this is nothing but 2 into minus whole to the power of minus 4 whole power t, where t is equal to n by 4. So 2 into minus 4 whole to the power of n by 4. So p is equal to 2 into minus 4 whole power n by 4 when k is equal to 0. Similarly, one can find out p values for k is equal to 1, 2 and 3.